and welcome back to Nick and Tan
Daily. In today's video, we are essentially talking about a topic that I'm sure most of y'all want to hear about. Our home. We bought a home yesterday and y'all would have seen the video that we posted yesterday on YouTube. We had a couple of questions that was asked by, a couple of different people and we wanted to touch upon it. So without further ado, we have a list of 9 or 10 different subjects that we wanted to touch upon. Let's jump right into it. The first thing is our location. Now, the short answer is that we did end up buying in the Emirate of Ajman. The long answer is that we searched practically every single emirate over here in the UAE.
Not every.
Most of
Most
them.
of it. We did Dubai, Sharjah and Ajman.
Even Abu Dhabi. We even checked out Ras Al Khaimah.
We didn't go, but we checked to see the price.
We did our
range,
research.
We did our research.
We did our research.
We go to look.
Yeah, true. No, what I meant is that we did our research in terms of understanding, what are the price differences, the comparisons, some of the best locations, because at the end of the day, you have to keep in mind a lot of people, they buy homes based on how far or close it is to work.
Yes.
And we had to keep Tani in mind in order to do that. So for us, a 30-minute or a 25-minute drive wasn't a big deal breaker.
Yeah.
Plus, you also keep in mind the size and the ROI, which are different topics that we're going to talk about. It made the biggest or the most sense to actually buy in Ajman, primarily because of how, we sort of, it's like a price of a soul situation,
And Nick works from home. I need to be closer to the airport. So that's the reason we chose this particular location.
Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, Dubai, if you guys are looking to buy in Dubai, I think there are some great ops. Just, again, if you move towards the end of this particular video, you'll realize why we decided against it. But it actually has a lot to do with the benefits, the costing, the area equals ROI, which is literally our next topic. Area equals ROI. What are some of the areas that we were looking in terms of in the emirate that we bought? And if you didn't know what an emirate is, it's technically the state that you live in. Very similar to back home in India. It's a state in New Zealand. It's a region. It's the same thing, all right? So our second point was actually the area that we were looking at and the ROI that we wanted to get back from it. At the end of the day, we understand this was more of an emotional buy. It's not an investment like Bitcoin or gold that you would otherwise buy, or even real estate that you would put on rent. But for us, we still wanted to make sure that at the same time, in the next, 3 to 5 years, this could at least give us a 25% return, And that was something that we were looking at. Now, yes, granted, on our Bitcoin investments, that would probably be nothing, But in terms of real estate, especially when it's an emotional buy, you know that you're going to live in it. Your kids are going to grow up in it. You want your family to visit you, during Christmas or Easter. Then in that case, you're not really looking at the ROI factor,
Sure.
So that's one of the reasons why, we decided to go ahead with Ajman, primarily because it's really, really big. We ended up buying a 4-bedroom townhouse. So you have to keep in mind there are different categories of houses.
There's 3 categories. There's apartments, you've got townhouses, and you've got villas.
Correct.
Yeah, so apartments are like anywhere that you find it. It's
in
a building.
Yeah,
you got security down. Townhouse is a little bigger than an apartment. But
actually, a lot bigger, to be honest. It's a lot.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
A lot bigger than an apartment, but smaller than a standalone villa.
Yeah.
So in townhouses, is like you have a little bit of the backyard, the front yard, and your apartment. And that's pretty much what we were looking for. We wanted space. When we say that, when we were looking around, we wanted more space. We didn't want to be squeezed up, which right now at the moment, we love our house. It's amazing. It has space. But when you think of growing a family with a dog, you know what we mean. We countryside. We want that space to run around and play games. And Nick and I love, we play a lot. Like, we're fun.
Yeah, we're fun.
We're always active. So we wanted space. So that's the reason.
That's one of the reasons why we ended up choosing Al Yasmin. And there are a couple of different areas in Ajman. There's Al Helio, Al Zahia. Al Yasmin is actually the more populated area, but it's also an area where, it's closer to schools, closer to hospitals, closer to grocery stores.
I think that was the first area that developed.
Yeah, actually
that was the first area that developed. So that's why there's more
of everything.
Of everything over there. Than the other areas.
Yeah. But in saying that, the other areas, while they may not be as accessible to roads or schools or whatever the case may be, the houses over there are bigger and cheaper. So
yeah.
if that's something that you were thinking of, then you could consider that. All right, listen, if there are any more questions that you guys have, feel free to DM us on our Instagram or even just drop a comment and we'll be happy to reach out and respond to you. The next thing is the costing side of things. All right, we want to touch upon costing primarily because we want to be able to give you all a realistic idea of how much that could be, you know. And the short answer is, I'm not going to tell you exactly how much ours costed, but it's in the $1 million range section. Well, not $1 million.
When we say million dirhams.
Yeah, million dirhams, not dollars. Not dollars. Sorry, I trade in USD, so I'm just used to saying
so it's
dollars.
1 million dirham and above.
Yes, correct. Now, and that's only specific to townhouses. Now, I've not come across a lot of townhouses that are cheaper than that. Although we did do a good
but
amount
it
of
was
research.
smaller.
It is smaller,
It
yeah.
was smaller.
Correct.
It was more squeezed up, I say. Yeah, it was kind of squeezed. I'll be honest, it's when you will see our video, the video of the house tour, it's just one size or two sizes smaller than that.
Correct.
Which was $1 million and below, but still, never mind. But that was my point of saying that there's nothing much left in the market. As you can see, property in Dubai is skyrocketing like really fast.
Like really fast. So like I don't think we'll see a downturn in terms of costing for real estate at least till around 27,
Yeah.
But that's just from analysis, my personal analysis. Please do your own research.
Yeah, please do your own research. Yeah. Do not take our word for
as financial advice.
Financial advice, please no. We sit and we take our time and we do only advice we could give, like I already said in my previous video, do a pros and cons list. I think that helps a lot. We did everything. So why not Dubai? Why not Sharjah? Why not Ajman? A pro-con list that helped us to sideline and move forward and choose what we wanted to choose.
So
that would be a great advice from our side if you are in the process of looking for a house.
Correct. Yeah. Now, if I had to tell you how much the difference between an apartment and a villa is, and this is specific to Ajman, obviously these numbers could vary in different Emirates like Abu Dhabi or Ras Al Khaimah or Dubai for that matter, Sharjah. But in Ajman specifically, you can get an apartment for as cheap as 350,000, 400,000 dirhams. And for a villa, you can get one for as cheap as 1.3 million. And these are excluding different costs, which again is a subject that we will talk about maybe in a part 2. So stay tuned to that. But yes, there is quite a big difference, and the difference lies in the benefits, which again is a topic that I'm going to touch upon in this particular video. So, hang around. That's pretty much what it is when it comes to the costing side of things. If you guys are interested in understanding how you could pay for it and so on and so forth, then do check out the part 2 where we will discuss that. All right, now moving on is the benefits, and this is something that I want to touch upon primarily because this was also one big deciding factor as to why we decided to, take the one that we did. Was for 2 reasons. The first one is actually something called freehold. And what that means, now you do have different types of ownership in Dubai. There's leasehold where you get to lease the property for as long as maybe 100 years or 50 years, whatever the case may be. There's also something called freehold where the government gives you the land and everything that is built on top of it. You own that, your kids own that, your generation or your bloodline will own it forever. Sort of thing, as long as you guys have the paperwork for it, as long as it's in your family, no one can take that away from you. Essentially, that's all it is. All right, that's what freehold is. Now, the fact of the matter is, you do not find a lot of freehold property in Dubai. Now, I do believe, this is slowly but surely coming into being at the moment. I think in Dubai South, you do have freehold properties.
They've just started it.
Yeah, they've just started it. Again,
they don't even have the buildings, I think, yet.
Not yet. No. It's all off-plan. Where you essentially pay for it now and you get to move in maybe in 2027, But again, don't quote us on this. Make sure to do your own research to know for sure. Again, feel free to reach out to us. Happy to help you guys over there understanding these specifics. So that was the first one. In Ajman, they do have freehold. So whatever we have in our name is essentially ours for, let's say, the next 10 or 20 generations, as long as no one is selling it. Number two is your visa situation. Now, I want Tan to, sort of explain this because she's been here longer. But essentially, it's two types of properties will give you two types of different visas. The first one is holding properties worth 750,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That gives you a 2-year visa. And you essentially get to renew that as long as you're holding your property. All right. And the second is properties worth 2 million dirhams and above. That gives you the ability to actually own something called a golden visa, which essentially you can stay here for as long as, I think, 10 years.
10 years, yeah. Golden visas are 10 years, yeah.
Yeah.
But you need, when you buy property, more than 2 million, you get that automatically. So, yeah, if that's your budget, that's amazing because you pay for the property and you can stay in the country for 10 years without tension.
Yeah.
Because it works in Dubai, it works like if you get, say, you come here, you get a job, the company sponsors you and you're on their visa. So if you get fired or you choose to leave, you have to go back home. It's not like, oh, okay, you stay, you continue, you look for another job. No, it doesn't work like that. So that's why we were looking from that perspective as well, that if in years to come, if I decide to leave, I can still stay in the country.
Absolutely.
Because I have property and I
you own
have the
property.
land. Yeah, so it's mine. So
yeah, that's true.
that was one benefit that we also looked at. From that.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And look, just one other thing, and this is a pro tip, and this I found out from, some of these, property developers and stuff like that. Even though they say freehold when it comes to an apartment, I mean, keep in mind, you don't own the land on that.
Yeah.
All right. It's technically the building and different, tenants that are in that building, even though they bought the house, So don't take that at face value because
I think
that's
that's
not
just
true. It's a gimmick.
Yeah,
it's a
gimmick. Marketing gimmick.
You don't own the land there.
We did go and see for freehold apartments and we're like, wow, that's
like,
different.
that doesn't make sense.
Let's go. But then we realized it doesn't make sense. You don't own. They're not giving you. And even if they gave you the land, it's like you're splitting the land with so many tenants on that building. So
Which I don't know.
I think it's just it's just a lie. It's just an ad to get you to come and see it.
I really don't know how that works. So again, do your own research. And that's pretty much some of the benefits that pushed us into taking the place that we did. Keep in mind that, collectively we've been here for almost 11 years. And it's a great feeling to know that we
have some kind of attachment.
Yeah, exactly. That we own land over here, and we own a beautiful, townhouse. So, yeah. All right. Lastly is something that I'm sure that many of you would love to know about is agents. Do you need an agent? The short answer is yes, but I'll tell you why. All right. Now, there are a few things here. It's not like we just stuck to one agent. We actually went through 6 different agents, but eventually gave the commission to one. All right. And here's why. First off, we also did our research when it came to different agents. And for all of y'all that don't know where to start, Bayut and Property Finders are our favorites. All right. I thought they were fantastic. It really helped us understand a lot of intricate details that otherwise you would have questions about before you went to an agent, So if you just want to start looking for houses, that's where you could definitely start. It has a lot of information over there that gives you guys a wholesome idea of what you'll need to do or what property you guys want to buy into. Now, the one thing I will say is that there are so many different hidden costs that do not take the prices that are written on those websites at face value. Now, yes, while the houses may be at that, you can always negotiate. It can come lower. It can go higher, primarily because of all the hidden costs that I will tell you guys about in our next video. But these two sites is where you can start. Now, what we did is essentially we went through different sites, reached out to 15, 20 different agents.
A lot of agents, and we sort of met them one-on-one, where we're actually going down to, the emirate that you're interested in and met them, got to understand them a little better, got to feel the vibe, it's super important. Like, you don't want someone that's grumpy, doesn't want to show you a house, but wants your commission, In fact, there was one guy, legit, not even joking. He shows us 5
a house. Yeah, literally. He shows us the house in 5 minutes. And he's like, so do you like the house? And I was like, yeah, it's a really nice house. Honestly, that was one of the dream houses that we had. We had two.
Yeah.
We selected two. That was one of them. And he was like, all right, so if you like it, let's go meet the owner. We can pay down a deposit of 20 grand. And I was like, what? It's been 5 minutes, bro. Let me like take it in at least, you know? So again, another tip, they are incredibly aggressive sellers, Zoya.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they don't give you a chance to think. They just gonna keep
Yeah.
after you, you know, day after
Yeah.
day, night after night. Like, bro, do you want it? Bro, do you want it? The tip that I have for you guys is don't give in to that pressure.
Yeah.
All right. There are a lot of houses across the UAE. You don't have to rush into anything.
Yeah, this actually, this advice, and also talk to a lot of people. Like, ask people, have you bought property? This is what I was doing when I was going on my flights. I was asking my colleagues, like, have you guys had property? How did you do it? What's your agent?
Correct.
You know, like, I was trying to get as much as information because
That's true.
We never ever like planned to buy an apartment at like maybe 2 years ago, but like, you know, so we never took the interest of getting or researching a lot. But then this happened, I would say, not overnight, but yeah, kind of overnight.
Yeah.
We were like, okay, yeah, let's just go and see. So we needed to know a lot, and so that's the reason I spoke to a lot of colleagues and asked them, like, how did you buy it? And a lot of them, many made mistakes, and one major advice that a colleague of mine gave, and she was like, Tan, just do not rush, okay? Don't do what I did. They'll sell it like, this is the last piece, it's the last piece, which is like, you know how they sell it. So, and she went into it and she was like, it was a mistake for her.
Yeah.
But, so she's like, don't do what I did.
Don't rush.
Yeah, don't rush. She always kept saying that you'll always find a house. There are many, to be honest, yes, Dubai builds houses like that, literally like that, like very quick. Dubai or anywhere, the
UAE. In the UAE, it's very quick.
Yeah, the UAE builds really quickly. So she was like, if you don't feel completely happy, don't rush. Take your time. Take even 2 months. Just go around, keep looking,
Correct.
looking, and then you come back. And if it is gone, it was never meant for you. So we took that advice and we did exactly like that. We knew what she was talking about because we were going through the same aggression, selling and like, buy it now. And we were like, dude, chill. We will come back. If it's not meant for us, if someone wants to buy it straight away before us, go ahead, that's fine. We'll come back again. We'll see something else. But I know there is always going to be another house. It's not like the construction people are just going to disappear. Vamos.
All right.
Life, yeah.
So those are actually some great tips and something that I would tell you guys to, take seriously. You don't have to rush into anything. I mean, finding a house should be considered as something that, you're going to want to have to do with a little attentiveness, because at the end of the day, let's look at it from this perspective. You take a loan for it, you have to be paying that loan for the next, I don't know how many years, let's say 10 years. You need to be happy about it,
Yeah.
Coming back to the house that you're paying for 10 years.
Yeah.
So take your time, buy something that you're really, really happy with, and make sure to vibe with your agent, because at the end of the day, if your agent sucks, it's not a great feeling to consistently be talking with the guy that you're going to have to pay, but he's super aggressive, doesn't care about your well-being, or doesn't care about how you're going to go about doing everything once the transaction is done. Don't make sure that you're not just a transaction for him. That's all I'm saying. All right. So take your time with a couple of different agents. Fact of the matter is, the system is rigged against y'all. And why I say that is because at the end of the day, no seller wants to show a house to you directly. All right. They go through different agencies.
Yeah.
So it's better to deal with a real estate agent that you're happy with, and is willing to take his time or her time to actually show you, with a little bit more patience. I think that is an absolute plus. So yeah, that's pretty much all that we had for you guys in this particular video. I will do a part 2 where I run through a number of different things. If you guys want to, talk about the hidden costs, if you guys want to, actually, let me look at my list. I have a couple of more things over here, moving in costs and, bank loans, if you guys are willing to take one. I have all that information over here for you guys. And just different.
We will make part 2 video for that.
All in all, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are looking to, jump into looking for a house here in Dubai or the UAE, reach out. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to, chat with y'all and just give y'all more information if y'all need it. And as usual, Continue supporting us. Do make sure to like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll see you in our next video.
Bye-bye.